But you're going to London, and that's why you're not staying very long, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the plan
Correct.
there? You just going to do a parade and you leaving, or what?
So this is a good time to talk about the story about that trip.
Okay.
So kind of a crazy story that worked out in the students' benefit. So, as of this summer, so before the school year started, I was on the fence about going. I was pretty sure could not afford it because it's $3,600.
Jeez.
London's very expensive place. But yeah, it's $3,600, and our band director he wasn't promoting the trip to people. He wasn't saying like there was no communication as to when we had to pay or anything like that. And it was just too much money. And it gets towards the fall, and he does no fundraisers. He's not. We haven't. We've known about this trip for 3 years. No fundraisers have happened to help the band go because we are supposed to
Wait, how many
march.
years?
3 years we've known about this trip. Zero money's been raised. And I'll get back to why that
Okay.
is. But yeah, so it's the fall. No fundraisers. He promised a couple, but none of them materialized. It gets to late October. He calls a meeting of the marching band and of the leadership team, I mean, which I'm a part of. And basically, he says we have about 20 people who can go, and we're thinking about just taking a small band because just no one can pay for it. COVID, blah blah. Blah. He makes a bunch of excuses
Okay.
as to why college kids can't shell out. He tries to
I feel like
basically
college kids can't shell out in general.
yeah,
So
but he's like oh just I don't know why people can't shell out $3,600, but I understand. It's just been a hard time. It's like no, like that's just too much. Like you gotta help us out and let us know because you gotta let us first of all let us know that this thing is even happening because he's during the fall he was on the fence about even doing the trip. He tried to back out. In November, they try and back out of the trip to see if they can back out of this travel contract. And the company said, you signed this contract for 70 people.
oh my gosh.
And he's just now finding this out. Our band director, his contract he signed, just now finds out that we have to have 70 people go on this trip to march in London. And basically no one can pay, and it's a whole disaster. And in November,
Do you know what the payout is if he backs out?
the full price of the trip for 70 people going. So 3,600 times 70. That's how much the school has to pay if they back out because we have to pay regardless. You cannot back out of this kind of contract. And so the dean of the school music gets everyone together and he starts off this meeting by saying, if you want me to get on my knees, I will. We need people to go.
Jeez.
And they basically said, pay whatever you can, and we're going to have to get bailed out by the university is going to have to bail us out,
Oh my
the School of
gosh.
Music. So I'm basically going for really whatever price I want to pay. They're at our mercy as far as that's concerned.
Nice.
So, yeah, like $250,000.
Jeez, dude.
Um,
That's such a music issue though, like a music person issue. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Like I feel like if anyone's gonna get in that issue, it's gonna be the arts department.
yeah, that's so true.
That's why managers are so important. That's why that's a whole profession, being a manager of an artist.
Yes. Well, we used to have a really good secretary of the school music who would handle stuff that our band director couldn't do because he is an organizational nightmare. He can't organize a fundraiser for he can't organize anything, to be honest. And part of it is he's a DCI tech, a brass caption head for the cadets.
Okay.
He spends his entire summer traveling around the country with his
Just doing the
DCI,
DCI stuff. Yeah.
and then he comes back. He literally goes from DCI to our band camp within a day. Like there is no turnaround. There is no time to prepare. So he shows up and nothing's ready. Like drill isn't written, music isn't finished, percussion parts aren't even started, and he just expects everything to work out, and it's not working out.
How do you get off the ground at that point?
Well, honestly, it was better this year, but it was still like we didn't have percussion parts for the last part of our show until October.
Okay, so it's just kind of writing on the run. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, after this London debacle, which was 100% his fault, he should have known that he had to get people to commit to this trip and communicate with us and promote it to the incoming freshmen, and we probably would have had enough people to pay. And also just like following up on making payments on the trip, like, hey, this payment's due then, this payment's
There was
due.
no follow-up.
There was no follow-up.
Jeez.
So, like, I submitted a deposit for this trip, like 2 years ago or something like that.
Gosh.
So I was on the list to go, but there was no follow-up. Like, hey, make this payment. Are you
usually
still
there's like
going?
due dates for certain payments.
Like hard due dates
Yeah.
too. Or even if they're hard, you can at least, maybe not hard due dates, but you can make them and they'll follow up with you, make sure that you're doing that. But yeah, nothing
Wow.
happened. So his job is kind of,
Is this like a fireable offense?
oh, this
I
is
mean, if it's $250,000.
this is 100% a fireable offense, especially with everything else that he shows up unprepared for because he's marching around the entire summer doing DCI.
Hmm.
Like, if you can barely do your job that takes 9 months out of the year, then why do you get to have this super demanding summer job?
Jeez. That's such a band person thing to do, though.
Yeah.
Jeez. Like, I can't even fathom. Like, it's weird because people will be like, oh, like that. I could see how that could happen. Like, I can't even, like, I can't even incentivize like in my brain how I could get in that position. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's insane. $250,000.
It might even be more. I'm doing some.
Do the math right now.
That's the number that they told us.
Pull up the calculator app.
Okay, let's say, I think the contract was for 70 or 80. I can't remember. Let's do 80. Let's go on the high end times 3,600. That's $288,000.
Oh my gosh. You imagine if he didn't because I'm guessing it's the travel agent or the airline that kind of called him up. It was like, hey, we have this thing coming up, right? Something to that sort. It wasn't him who just like, oh wait, I have this.
As far as the contract is concerned?
Yeah.
The contract was through a travel company.
So they probably hit him up and were asking him about details or something.
I think they didn't know how unready we were to pay for this.
Well, I'm saying, like, would it be possible for him to have not even known about this? And
about the contract?
Yeah, like, and then the school randomly out of nowhere just gets a bill for $288,000. Like, is that in the cards? Because that would have been hilarious.
I could see it happening, but he's lucky that the reason that this got caught, I think, and we were able to get bailed out by the school is because the dean was a co-signer of this contract. Obviously, none of them, they're both men. None of them read the contract. I don't read the shit I sign. I just sign it.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, I'll sign it. We'll Yeah, we'll be able to get 70 people. Sounds good to me. Yep.
Yep. Jeez, that's amazing.
So the dean, who's the co-signer, this is not his baby. This is not his responsibility. He has
he was
way
probably
more
just there
stuff
for legal reasons or something.
way more stuff to worry about than this trip. He just kind of trusted, things will work out like they've always done if these international trips that the band has done. But it blew up in our director's face.
Man. But you get pretty much relatively a free trip to London
Yeah.
out of that.
So
Yeah.
works out in my favor, but I kind of wish that we would have been able to pay because it hurts the university.
It's going to hurt the music program big time, right?
Yeah, yeah. But they're asking people to get this. Pay on a trip that already happened after it happens.
College students, college
And
music students.
And they're trusting that students are going to pay whatever they can. That shit ain't happening. There's going to be like $2. I got $2 to pay. Is that good enough?
Just throw one, like half, not even like a quarter of a paycheck at them, and they're like, okay, cool. Cross it. People are probably just gonna forget about it because you just cross it off mentally and it's gone.
Exactly. So,
oh my gosh.
I mean, if they don't follow up with us, I feel like they're gonna have a fat bill on their hands. I feel like
it's gonna be a fat bill regardless.
Yeah, the School of Music will probably have to pay like $150,000 for this.
Oh my gosh.
Because some people have already paid in full for the trip, believe it or not.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's like the Jesus parable with the two denarii. You know what I'm talking about? The field workers.
Yeah.
It's like it'll be like 8-hour workday. I'll give you 2 denarii to do this. Okay, cool. And then like 5 minutes left, the guy's still wanting people. I'll give you 2 denarii to work for 5 minutes. Oh
yeah. So some people have paid in full for this.
Oh man.
And that's really the criminal part.
I would go to the dean if I was one of those people and be like, no, this is give me my money back.
I think that's what some people did.
I hope they got their money back.
But I think some just considered it, a donation, basically.
Oh, it is a Christian school. All these nice people. Yeah.
Oh man, we ride off donations. That is the school's saving grace. That's how we stay
That's
afloat.
how churches are run.
Yeah.
Offerings, man.
Yeah.
Gotta get that offering.